Hello. How are you doing? Thank you very much for joining me today. I saw this video pop up, my healthcare experience in Europe as an American. Super interesting topic. I'm always curious to know what it would be like if I was traveling abroad and broke a bone or something or got sick and needed to use the healthcare in a different country. I mean, it's not like they're going to give me free healthcare just because, it's Europe and they have a lot of countries have universal healthcare and stuff like that. They're not going to give it to you. You haven't been paying into it through taxes and stuff, rightfully so. So how do they bill you for it? What's the experience like? Super interesting topic. So this guy, it's from 2017. It's got millions of views. Life of Carl. Go check out this channel. Link down below. I just really want to hear what he's got to say.
Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about my healthcare experience when I went to Europe. So I just got back from a trip to Europe. I went to Barcelona in Spain, and then I flew to Amsterdam. I was in Barcelona for a week. I was in Amsterdam for a week too, and then I went to Vals, which is in southern Holland, for my uncle's wedding, and I went to Mönchengladbach, Germany, for 2 days, and then I flew back home. So
Cool.
When I was in Amsterdam,
that would really be a terrifying thing to have to get sick or something in a foreign country.
I hurt my foot. I went dancing for too long in a nightclub, and the next morning when I woke up, my foot was like it hurt really bad. It really felt like someone had like taken a hammer and almost smashed.
That's weird.
Right behind my toes on my left foot. And it was swollen, but there was no marking, so I was kind of confused. I was like, why does it hurt? And I guess I just had overstressed it. So,
Well, already right off the bat. So if that happened to me here in America, I probably would. Depending on the pain, first line of attack would be seeing if it healed itself and then maybe go into the urgent care, which is like not the actual hospital. They have them in like CVS, like drugstores and stuff. You can go to a urgent care where they can, or other places where they can give you like some pain pills or something and do some preliminary stuff.
I took it easy for a couple days, and then I decided. Then I went on a walking tour of Amsterdam. I did
that would
a
suck.
guided tour of the red light district and
With a broken freaking foot
like that. So I was walking around for like 2 hours straight, and normally that's no problem. I walked like 6 miles a day when I was in Barcelona, and I'd been biking around all the time in Amsterdam. But by the end of the walking
You got to work on your cardio before you go to Europe, huh? You don't just drive a car everywhere.
tour, my foot was just hurting really badly, and I was limping, and I knew it was no good. So the next day, I drove with my uncle to Vals because we were going there for his wedding, and not much improvement at all. I think I waited one more day, and then on the day of the wedding was starting at like 1:32, something like that. I was like, okay, I gotta go to the doctor. It's not improving. It's getting bad. So I was at a hotel, so I asked the hotel
reasonable.
reception, where's the nearest doctor? So they pointed out on the map for me, and it was like a block or 2 blocks away. I think it was 3 blocks. So I called them up, and the recording line was in Dutch, so I had no idea. I speak German and Spanish pretty well, but I can't speak Dutch, so I had no idea what they were saying on the recording line. So I said, screw it, I'm just going to go straight there. So it was I think it was around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that, on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And I walked there, I limped to the doctor's office.
Oh, man.
So I get there, and I check in, and I just go up to the desk, and I say, hey, how's it going? I got this problem, blah, blah, blah. They take my ID, they scan it, they tell me that it's going to be
Like your American ID?
25 euros for the doctor to check me out. So keep in mind, I'm an American citizen. I live in California.
25 euros, that's it.
I have I have health insurance here, but I don't have, it's not international health insurance. So I'm over there. I am not a citizen, and I have no health insurance. So they tell me, okay, so it's going to be 25 euros for the doctor to see you. So I say, okay, all right. That's like what a copay is.
Sounds like a bargain.
In America. So I go. I had to get cash. They wanted me to pay in cash. So I was like, that's fine. So there's an ATM.
Yeah, that would be like a copay, which is like if you have insurance, how much it costs to go through your insurance just to see your doctor. Yeah.
I'm across the street. So I went and got. I went and got the cash, and then I waited probably like 10 minutes, maybe. It might have even been less than that. It was like 10, 15 minutes. I went and saw the doctor. She examined my foot. She did a thorough job. She looked at it. She said, she asked me questions, blah, blah, blah. She looked at my other foot to compare. My left one was kind of swollen and blah, blah, blah. So she looked at the foot. She said, okay, I think you need an x-ray. I think it has like a stress fracture. And, she heard my whole story and everything. She said, I don't have an x-ray machine here, but I can write you an x-ray recommendation for a hospital. So I said, okay, that sounds good. She wrote me the recommendation. And
so you can just show up to a doctor's office and get seen in like 10 minutes?
She said, I can give you it's like a painkiller / anti-inflammatory prescription. So I went, so I said, okay, great. That sounds good. I'll take the prescription. So she gave me the prescription. There was a pharmacy in the downstairs of the doctor's office. So I went down the elevator, went to the pharmacy.
I guess you guys... Like, did he actually get a slip, like a piece of paper prescription? Because I've never seen one of those in real life. At some point, America transitioned over to almost exclusively being digital, where they send your prescription digitally to like a pharmacy, whatever pharmacy you tell them to send it to.
Pharmacy. They filled my prescription, and it was 7 euros for this like painkiller / anti-inflammatories pill. So and it was funny because they said, "Oh, do you want a receipt so you can try to get your health insurance to pay for it?" And I just started laughing. I was like, what's the point? I'm going to spend like an hour on the phone to try to get €5.
And then they probably wouldn't even do it. You'd be like, according to our calculations, that was not necessary. You could have survived. You could have just let it heal by itself. No pain, no medicine required.
That's from the insurance company.
So we're not covering that.
So he's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry. So I had the painkiller, and I had the doctor, the recommendation for an x-ray. Okay, so the next day, so the wedding happens. The next day, my foot's actually feeling a little better, probably due to the pill she had given me. And so I'm driving with my relatives to Mönchengladbach, which is pretty close to the German Dutch border. So my aunt, my great aunt, she takes me to the basically the emergency room in her town, Mönchengladbach. So I go there.
Now that's a big deal in America. I mean, if you're going to the emergency room, you're looking at $3,000 pretty much for anything.
They had me fill out a little bit of paperwork. They like photocopied my ID. I signed a couple things. So I go to get the x-ray, and first I'll tell you how long I waited. First, I check in, then I go back to the emergency room. I probably waited about a half hour. I think I made like a phone call, and I read a couple news articles on my phone. Like, it was a half hour. And
a half hour. Wow. So he waited 10 minutes at the doctor's office, a half hour here at the emergency room to get an x-ray. It's pretty fascinating hearing, because one of the biggest complaints you hear from Americans who are against universal health care and stuff, they say, oh, in all the European countries, you have to wait hours and hours or months and months to be seen and to get anything done because it's free and everybody's just abusing it.
This is an emergency room. And again, I have no insurance and I'm not a German citizen. So go there. I wait about a half hour. I go and see the doctor. The doctor examines me again. I tell her the whole story. Then she says, okay, we're going to give you an x-ray. So I walk down to the x-ray room. They do the x-ray. I go to the reception room in the x-ray wing of the hospital. And they say, okay, your charge is 20 euros for the x-ray. So I'm like, all right, great, that sounds good. 20 euros. So I go back up, they look at my x-ray, they say,
$20. That's so funny. And the fact that they're telling him the price up front like this is also majorly different. Here in America, they would just give you the x-ray and whatever else they felt like you should have or whatever. And they'd probably be super nice about it and get you taken care of, but then they'd just send you a bill in the mail or in your app. You owe $900.
okay, you don't have a stress fracture, but you need to take it easy for a bit. They're like, you have lots of inflammation, and you just got to take it easy and etc. So they give me this. They give me like a pain cream, and they wrap my foot up, and they send me on my way. So I leave the hospital, and I tell my aunt, I'm like, yeah, they only charged me 20 euros, and she, you know how the Germans are. She's like, oh, that's not right. You probably owe them a little more. So I was like, all right, whatever. So we go back to the billing office, and they determine that I owe them another 60 euros. So my total charge.
What? This is okay. So that's still extremely cheap. $80 for an X-ray. Okay, but how did they misbill him? They just let him walk out, only paying 20. I mean, shoot. Is it not part of the culture? He said, okay, you know how the Germans are. I don't know, but here in America, if they did that, no one's going back to say, oh, I think I owe you more money. No one would do that. No one.
For visiting an emergency room in Germany was 80 euros.
Crazy.
And that included an X-ray. So.
And you had to beg them to take your money.
If you did the same thing in the United States and you didn't have health insurance, and especially if you weren't a citizen, I'm sure the X-ray would probably cost at least $300 or $400, and then just the fact that you're in the emergency room would at least be another couple hundred. So you'd probably be at the door at 500. I show up,
The emergency room is weird. I've never had a trip less than like $2,000, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong. If you go on the weekends or at nights, they charge you extra because it's, I don't know, busy hours. That's what it is. During busy hours, they charge you more.
Not a citizen, no health insurance, and they charge me 80 euros.
But I've only been to the emergency room like twice in my life. Like I'm talking about as a 10-year-old kid.
I was happy. I waited a half hour at the emergency room, and I waited like maybe 15 minutes at the doctor's office in Holland. So overall, I think my experience was pretty good, and I was happy that I didn't have a fracture, because that would have really ruined the rest of my trip. And so it was really good.
I'm also sort of interested in more details about how he said he got recommended by the first doctor to get an X-ray, but then he went to some other hospital to the emergency room and got the X-ray there. Like here in America, if you went to an urgent care and they said you need an X-ray, they would probably say, okay, like someone's going to call you to schedule your X-ray at this hospital. And then he'd be like, okay, be there at. It wouldn't just be like, oh, here's a recommendation. Go bring it to any doctor you want.
But I just hope that this leads to a further discussion about, the healthcare system we have in the United States, because over there they have a combo of, it's mostly
private and
universal
public
healthcare. So it's like single payer universal healthcare where the government pays for it. And in Germany, you can buy, I think in Holland too, you can buy supplemental healthcare insurance. So like if you're, for some reason you're not happy with it, then you can pay extra money. But
I wonder if you guys have if you guys were traveling to the United States, would you have to pay? You'd have to pay for some kind of temporary insurance, huh?
The prices are way lower. The wait times were faster, if you ask me.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It just flies in the face of everything you hear. I don't even know what to make of that. It's like, then what are we doing? What are we doing over here? Why are we paying so much?
And what a lot of people will say, they'll say about they'll rag on the Canadian system, or they'll rag on universal healthcare systems. They'll say, oh, the wait times are forever, and you're going to get a shitty doctor and poor care. And I never had that problem. And, granted, I only went to two different doctor's offices, and, a doctor's office and an emergency room. But, yeah, that was my experience. So hopefully you can pass this on to other people.
Yeah, I mean, it's an anecdotal experience, but anecdotal experiences are reality. You know what I mean? There's only so much you can learn from just talking. Yeah, the politicians can stand up there and say, oh, the wait times are 10 minutes longer. But this guy actually went and experienced it. And yeah, that's pretty valuable to hear. It's very interesting. The more and more I learn, it's like, what are we doing? Cool story. Go check out Life of Carl. It's so crazy. This video has 2 million views. I bet you all his subscribers are from this one video. I'm just kind of curious, like, does he even have any other videos? Come on. My computer is so bad. So bad. Hold on. Well, it says his channel literally has no content. Not sure what that meant. And then where's the video I just watched, huh? All right, anyway. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.